There are downsides to social media, but overall it still plays a significant role in the lives of teenagers.
Social media can become really bad because it's a way for people to bully others, or they use it for bad reasons, for the wrong reasons, and it becomes bad.
I don't like that it's too personal sometimes and you can know too much information about someone through Twitter.
I guess the cyberbullying part of it, like some people can hide behind a keyboard and not say something to someone, but I just think it's twisted how that works out.
And now it's coming to a fact where people are abusing it with all the shout outs and like my pics for pics and girls thinking they're Instagram models now. And it's not cute and it's not fun anymore. So, and it's plus it's like a big competition to see who has the most followers, but who you can know it could be a rapist following you.
As I said in the past, if you had a conversation, you might be able to talk it out, and maybe what you figured out is the guy really is a jerk, and I really don't I really don't need to be going out with something like this. But if all of a sudden the screen goes dim, you might be sitting there thinking, well, what's wrong with me? And you may end up being overly anxious, becoming more, having more difficulties, just trying to figure out, where your level of self-esteem is. So again, positive and minuses to both things. And so I think like any tool, we have to learn how to use it wisely.
I think I don't like how a lot of people tend to like spam out unimportant stuff. That would be my biggest problem. That's why I don't follow a lot of people, because I find that people just like send out really vague messages that I don't care about, that would just make me uncomfortable. Like when somebody says, "Why doesn't anybody love me?" I'm just like, well, I can't do anything to help you. And so that's what I don't like about it. It's just it's used for stuff that makes me uncomfortable.
They can become anxious because they don't have this respite. On the other hand, what happens when the communication stops? You're not getting, now you're waiting for to get an email or a tweet or whatever, and they're not coming. It's very, very difficult.
Facebook and stuff, it's like, now I'm noticing they ask for your location a lot now, and like if you click it, people will know like where you are, and that's kind of creepy and stuff. And like if you post pictures, people can copy your picture and pretend like they're you and take your, like, make themselves look like they're you and stuff like that, and it's weird. Like, that's really scary.
I don't think it's that important. It's not like a necessity. You can watch the news and get the same information, but on Twitter you get it that very second that it happens.
I decided not to use things like Facebook because I found that one of the things that I saw most people doing was like stalking other people, and stalking is illegal, so I choose not to do that.
Social media is cool, but I feel like so many people just lose themselves in it, and they're not an individual anymore, they're part of the population.
But here's the downside that I see, especially for some individuals. A lot of our communication with each other now is to a screen. It's not face-to-face anymore. In the past, we'd go to the malls, get on the phone, talk to each other. Part of building friendships is a part of taking risks, and that part is being able to communicate with somebody. Maybe you're upset with them. Being able to say something that you really want to say to them, but knowing how to say that is a way in which, when you do the face-to-face, it seems to be something that works out a lot better. When you're behind the anonymity of a screen, oftentimes we end up saying things. It's easier to be mean. A lot of students just have a much more difficult time. For example, let's take this interaction where nobody's there. A big part of humans are very sensitive to the nonverbal cues, facial gesture, facial recognition, body language. If that's not part of the combination, we strip the personal part out. So that's where it's easy, where a lot of times where a lot of the communication can get skewed in a way that really isn't healthy. And it also can create a lot of anxiety. For example, when we're connected all the time. I mean, all the time. There's apps for everything. We know where we're at. And we have a need for intimacy, but at some point we need to be able to shut things down. We have to be able to just give it a rest. And unfortunately, for a lot of kids, it's there all the time.
Because Twitter just became this big place where everybody put all their crap on it. They put too much information on there, or that's where everybody decided to fight and get off on each other for no reason. So I didn't see a need to be in that, so I got off.
I know, like, I see a lot of people, and even in my family, where, you're all sitting around either watching TV or you're on your iPhones doing social media. And it's really taken the term social and changed it. Like, people are now considering looking at your phone and typing social rather than hanging out with your friends.
Twitter's okay. I don't really tweet as much as I used to. I used to be on Twitter all day long, just doing nothing with my life, but I guess I matured.
There's less drama on Instagram. You get to see different, parts of other people's lives on Instagram. And I think a picture says more words than just putting stuff on Twitter. Like, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, nobody cares.
We're young, we put things up that we don't really think about putting up, and then not thinking that it could potentially affect us in the future.
I think that, as I said before, those students who are connected all the time, I think that's very much the case. And we found that those students who have to check their Facebook at least once every 15 minutes, we found that there's a correlation between that and lower grades, because obviously your focus is someplace else. So yes, I think that there's some individuals obviously who can handle it reasonably well. I think when parents help set some guidelines, when we understand that there's more to life than just talking to that screen, I think that things work out a whole lot better. But like anything else, some people get overwhelmed.
We become consumed with what everybody else is thinking and what we think other people want to see.
I think it does more harm than good, because like I said, it takes away from actual personal or physical communication. A lot of people have turned to using social media to out people to try to resolve an issue. I feel like that's the wrong way to go. I feel like someone has an issue with me, come talk to me in my face instead of putting it out there for the whole world to see. As far as getting jobs, like, people don't realize your employers can pull this stuff up, so there's no taking it back.
Yeah, I think social media is important as a whole. In some aspects, as in like trying to spread news about something. Like, if you were going on Twitter, for example, and you needed to send a big message out, then you could just tweet it, and then people will retweet it, and then more people will retweet that if it's a good tweet in that favor. And such as if you're doing a fundraiser, you tweet something about having a fundraiser, and then people will retweet that, and then they'll keep seeing it. And if one person retweets it, another person will see it, and then they'll retweet it, and then it can be retweeted throughout the whole world in that case.
I think it's definitely a good thing. Instant news, like instant updates about the stuff you care about, even if it's not on a national scale, I can still figure out what's going on with the people I care about.
I just have access to them, and that's how I get all my information. So if I see something going on, or someone tells me about something, I'm automatically going to go on Twitter.
I think Twitter is one of the main social medias right now, just because it gives like a limit, of course, 140 characters to what you can say, and people try and fit what they want to say in 140 characters, so they like try and come up with all these clever little things, and hashtags. They can connect with other people through the hashtag, or maybe start a trend or be a part of a trend. I don't really know why Twitter is so popular, but I mean, kids are pretty much addicted to it.
For Vine, I say Vine's good for people if they want to just have a reputation of being funny or doing spontaneous stuff. Vine is the best app to have for that. If you're gonna have Instagram, it's a good way to post, like, because they have video now on it, and you can post videos of like something you have.
No, it's good for research though, because Twitter has like over 1 billion people connected, and you can just tweet a question and you get all the answers.
I have a talent, so I post my videos on Instagram, and then people follow me, and then they tag their friends and they follow me, so then I just get more followers.
I like Twitter because it's really upfront, it's really neat. Everything is on the homepage when you get there. You don't have to go around to different people's pages to find out what they're saying. It's all right there for me. It's all short, it's all easy. That's why I like it.
It's kind of hard to get into fights and stuff on Instagram. It wasn't hard. I don't know how to put it. Instagram, I just love Instagram.
I like Twitter because it lets me know what people are thinking and what they're involved with.
I think it's just the power of words. Everyone has their own opinion, and I've noticed I follow a lot of news stations, and I can just get a quick update from them through Twitter. Like, I can see it right there, and I can share my opinion with other people like I might have never met in my life, but I can still discuss certain issues with other people.
I do feel that there's some real positive benefits. For example, it's found ways in which people, let's say you live in a small town and you're very interested in theater or something and nobody else seems to be. In the past you might feel isolated and alone. Now you get on the net and you find that there are people interested throughout the country and you can find connections in so many ways. And of course, the ability to stay connected to your peers on a regular basis, it can be a very positive thing in a lot of ways. You know what's going on.
Recently I found it important because when that whole fiasco happened, like, nobody was really answering their phone because it was like, you know, a time where everybody was like concentrating on what happened. So people tweeted out information and stuff like that. It was really helpful to me and like my friends to know like exactly what was going on at what time, and to know, you know, where everybody is and what they need and stuff like that, and how everybody's feeling, to know who to text, who not to text, to, you know, who to be there for.